This is going to be just a really short episode. I thought it would just be kind of fun. I forgot to put it in there if it played that jump scare noise we had when he spots you. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you how to play that sound. So it's very, very simple, so this will be very short. So essentially, what we have here is when he's pursuing the player and can see the player, this is when he starts chasing you. I'm going to set this back to 450 so it's clear to tell when he chases you, just like that. But I want it to also play a noise. So we'll have to create a new task for that. So new task, BT task blueprint base, AI classic, here it is, BT play jump scare audio. Move that to tasks, and in here it's just as simple as execute AI, and we're just going to play sound 2D, and the sound we want is our jump scare sound that we already have in the game. And now if we were to just finish execute like this, success, and go into the behavior tree, we would want to put it under is pursuing player, can see player, because this is where we set speed and chase the player. I would just maybe put it first. So play jump scare audio, but don't do this because, oops, didn't even do that. If you remember, a sequence loops. So, which means it's looping pretty much every frame, which means this audio will play every single frame, and it is not a sound you want to hear if you value your eardrums. So what we need to use is what's called a do once node, which means it'll only do whatever's after the completed one time, unless we call this reset node right here. Now, the only issue is it's everything after the do once will only complete it once, which means after the first time, this finish execute will no longer be called. So instead of putting it there, we need a sequence which just executes a series of pins in order, break the finish execute, and put it under here. So no matter what, we will always finish the execute, even if this do once is already blocked and we no longer play the sound. So now, when we see the player, it should play the jump scare audio just once. We set the speed and we chase the player. So let's test this out. And he sees us and it plays that sound. Perfect. Now we have one other issue. I'll demonstrate by putting his speed back down from when he chases us, so it's easier to get away from him. Let's have him see us. He sees us, and he's chasing us. And we are definitely out of his sight right now, so he's going to investigate. He sees us again, and we have no sound. That's because it is a do once node. So we need to find a way to reset it. And the easiest way to do it is just go in the blackboard, and we're going to add a third boolean, or our fourth key. And it'll just be called play jump scare audio. And we want this to be true by default. So if we go to our controller, off of begin play, we can just get the blackboard, set value as bool, and key name will, sorry, not promote to variable. We want to make literal name, and you know the drill by now, copy and paste. And we want the bool value to be true. Then in our play jump scare audio, we can switch out this do once for a branch, and we just have to check if that boolean is true. So get value as bool, and we need to promote this key to a variable as always, so we'll call it what do we call the key? Let me check. Play jump scare audio, so we'll call it play jump scare key set it to editable, and put that into the condition. So if play jump scare is true, then we will play the sound, and if it is false, we will do nothing. This way we can set it back to true once we go out of sight. And luckily we don't have to create an extra task for that. We can just go back into AI Controller Classic and see how we have this set value bool can't see player to false once he goes out of sight. We can just copy this play jump scare audio and paste it in here. So once we go out of sight, our jump scare audio will be set to false, which means once we are seen again, we will, set this back to true. So once we are seen again, it'll play again. What we also need is to set it to false under successfully sets true, so that it doesn't play multiple times. So we definitely could have just created a task for this and put them in here as well. It doesn't really matter in the long run, just whatever you want to do, but let's just recap. We set play jump scare audio to true in the begin play, because it's the first time we want to play the audio when the AI sees. But once the AI sees as well, we set our jump scare audio to false, which now I'm thinking might actually have to be in a task, just in case it does it before this task is called. And then once he doesn't see him again, we set it back to true. Actually, yeah, you know what? Sorry for a bit of the mess. I just realized it'd probably be a much better idea to get rid of playing jump scare audio, setting to false in here, and setting it to false in play jump scare audio. So after we play the sound, we will set value as bool. The key will be jump scare key, and we will set it to false. That way we should be steered clear of any bugs. So just select this task, make sure the jump scare key is set to play jump scare audio, and let's recap just one more time. Sets to true at default so that when we start it'll play the audio. Once it plays the audio, it sets it to false, so every other time this sequence loops over and over again, we skip playing the audio so it doesn't overlap itself. And then once the player goes out of sight, we set the play jump scare audio back to true so that once we come back in sight, it will play the jump scare audio again. So every time he sees us and start chasing us, it'll play the audio. So let's test it. He sees us and he's chasing us. And if we can go out of sight, once he sees us again, it should once again play. There we go. Of course, it'll be a little creepier if his speed is 450. I just keep changing it back and forth because on such a small map, it can be a little difficult to actually get away from him and get out of sight. So he'll investigate for a while, but if we leave, he sees us again, starts chasing us. So that's personally much scarier because, you know, loud noise. What else can I say about it? But now we got a jump scare audio playing every time he sees us and starts chasing us.